Shabbat Shalom, Lekulam, Shabbat Shalom, Lekulam. שמי נסיק הראשי Shama. אני מתפלל שהכל בסדר איתכם היום. Peace to you all. I am Chief Prince Shama. I pray all is well with you today. Welcome back. It's been a while. This is Bed Mazan Ministries, and I'm going to bring forth a lesson or a discussion, whichever one you prefer to call it today. So please leave comments in the chat, your thoughts on it, any questions you may have. But this is going to be interesting. So the topic of today is sometimes it's better not to speak. Preserve your words. Sometimes it is better not to speak. Preserve your words. It's a lot that goes on within many communities that observe our literature. More specifically, I'm speaking of B'nai Israel, or the children of Israel, those that identify with being Hebrew. A lot of us are not second and third and fourth generation Hebrews. We're first generation Hebrews, coming into this knowledge from whatever background we came from, and we still take on or bring forth the same character and integrity as far as when it pertains to values in this path, right? And it's just different levels. We're all growing. Please leave a comment too and let me know if it's buffering. I hope that it catches up. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're going to continue. So it's a lot of things that we're learning. The interesting thing about it is these things we know. We tend to know when it's not applied with us or towards us. We know when we're talking about others, but we don't know for some reason when it's pertaining to us. And that reason I come to realize is the intention. We're not being intentional, right? We're not being consistent in trying to really remove those qualities away from us. We're trying to focus on the bare minimum when it comes to pleasing, or what we believe pleasing is to the Most High. And some people are doing it on purpose and some people aren't, so it's all a learning, it's a learning curve that we need to implement in our lives, and we have to intentionally do so. So I chose to speak on this matter because I believe this is one of the biggest things in our community. I think that every bad thing that we want to call bad goes back to this, right? The speaking aspect is the action. Before you speak, you typically already have it within you. So it's a common thing within our literature that the Most High really speaks on as far as circumcising ourselves, right? Our inner selves. And the reason that is so that we won't outwardly do things. So let's go ahead and bring it up. Let me bring it up. Bring out a little presentation for you all so you all can follow along with me. Let me see, share my screen. All right. Should be coming up soon. Should be coming up soon. It's really, really, really slow. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. All right. So sometimes it's better not to speak. Preserve your words. All right. A lot of the things today, it's a little different than it was back then for multiple reasons. And we're going to go over that A lot of us are learning this path on our own. Some people coin the phrase individualites. A lot of people believe that it's okay to be that, you know. But when we want to go back to the cultural understanding, we shouldn't be alone for multiple reasons. We shouldn't be doing this path alone. We shouldn't be doing anything alone, right? But I really want to harp on this because it will cause us to focus on integrity. Integrity will be one of the biggest things when it comes to this preserving your words because you have accountability. So moving along is actually outside of our culture. It's outside of our belief. All right. So we're going to get started. Sometimes it's better not to speak. Preserve your words. All right. So the one thing I want to start with is running away from being a gossip monger. Running away from being a gossip monger. Um, this is within our literature. We're going to be bringing it out very soon. But what does that mean? Gossip monger can be attached to being a talebearer. That's actually the translation that's utilized in the English, talebearer. Some people think that talebearing is just, um, saying something evil about an individual, but it's a little deeper than that. The word being used is rachil, rachil in Hebrew. But gossip monger, why am I using this? Sometimes we are bringing things out and we have no idea the harm and the hurt that it's causing or that it can cause. Um, your name is everything, right? Just like the Most High, his name is everything. And we are supposed to be set apart as he is set apart, is what our scriptures say. So, in the same sense, it should apply for us as well. The sad part is, name is not a big thing for most of us. We have to get out of the mind that just because um, a lot of us identify with being B'nai Israel, that everyone has the same understanding of what it means to be that everyone has the same level of spiritual connection to the Most High through the obedience of what was given to us. Everyone is not there. Whether you are someone that is a leader, everyone is not there. If you're someone that's a teacher, everyone is not there. If you're someone that's um, a listener or just learning from someone, everyone is not there. All right. So we have to keep that in mind. So this gossip mongering that happens, it happens with each and every level. It can happen amongst leaders. It can happen amongst teachers. It can happen amongst those that are not any one of those individuals. And this is within our law. One of the things that's really ignored. Okay. So run away from being a gossip monger. Let's keep going. All right. One of the things that can help you do this is finding someone that is, um, I would say, a lot of their messages and how they operate in their lives, um, their understanding of the importance of this is shown in their speech when they're talking with you. It's shown in their walk when they are around you. This is an individual that you want to attach yourself with, right? Or individuals, more specifically, individual, a righteous counsel, right? You want to always put yourself before a righteous counsel to guarantee through many subjects that you may inquire or be a part of that they can give you righteous information, righteous advice, sound advice. This is someone that you need to have in your life. A lot of people, whether they're leaders or teachers, some of them don't have that. Some individuals move clearly on their own. Now they may associate or talk every blue moon or have conversation here and there and traveling, but they are not speaking with this individual on a daily to hold them accountable as well. So righteous counsel is important. All right. So gossip mongering, we're going to utilize Wa'ikra or Leviticus 19, verse 17 and 18 to kind of bring this full circle. Okay. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your neighbor and not bear sin because of him. Now, someone, if you had a righteous counsel, right, a righteous individual that you went to in regards to, this is just a scenario. If you had a scenario to where something took place, one of the very first things that you should do, and I'm implementing this righteous counsel part, is go before someone that you trust that is going to be balanced when they're receiving the information that you're giving them and balanced when they're giving you the solution. And this righteous individual is going to help diffuse the situation, bring it down. You know, you may be in an emotional state. Nothing is wrong with emotion, but this is how you deliver that emotion, right? So when I'm saying emotional state, you may be in that to where you may be really reactive. You may do something that's outside of what we are seeing in our literature, in our scripture that tells us to do. Our first thing shouldn't be going on social media, right? Going to our friends and family and just laying it all out on the line. Anything that's going on, something that's taking place. You want to preserve your words, preserve your mouth. You do not want to just start spewing information that can be um, false. You may not have the right understanding, right? And that could be harmful to that individual that you're speaking about. This happens so much in our community. This is one of the things that's keeping us away from the Most High and or the Most High being with us because we do not know how to operate with one another once we get in our emotions improperly. Emotions is necessary. We need it. There's nothing wrong with it. If that's being taught to you, you got to understand that either that individual is not properly teaching you or they're actually saying that you're not using your emotion properly, right? So this righteous counsel is going to guide you before you step before this individual. And I notice Wa'ikra 19 and 17, Leviticus 19 and 17, it actually says you should not hate your brother in your heart, right? So if you're coming before this brother, and women, this can be you as well. If you're coming before him, you should already have a sense of genuineness and pureness when you're coming, even if you're upset. I know this is harder said or harder done than said, or easier said than done. I understand that. But the reason that this literature is put before us is for us to study it daily, practice it daily. This does not mean you're not going to be upset. This does not mean if you come to them, it will not get a little challenging. But if you do not hate your brother in your heart, it will not cause you to sin. Now watch this. It says, you should surely rebuke your neighbor and not bear sin because of him. So this rebuking, it's not saying rebuke your neighbor in front of everyone. It's not saying that. It's also not saying rebuke your neighbor in front of everyone without even going to your neighbor. You're not even talking to your neighbor. You're talking to everyone else about him or her without even speaking with him or her. So you're rebuking this neighbor in front of everyone else without speaking to that neighbor. Preserve your words in order to remain righteous, you all. So it says, you should not hate your brother. in your heart, you shall surely rebuke your neighbor and not bear sin because of him. It's a lot of ways you can take that, not bear sin because of him, right? You approach towards him, harming him or her, bearing false witness, and that's another topic. We're going to get into that. Those are our sinful things. Okay. This next one says, you shall not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the children of your people. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Would you want someone to do what many of us are doing? Would you want someone to do what many of us are doing? And that is, we're reacting without getting any information. We're spreading information that is not true. We're spreading information without even getting the approval of the person that we're spreading information about. It's so many ways to look at this, and you would not like that yourselves. You would not like that. Many of you would not like that. So it says you shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudges against the children of your people, but you shall love them, your neighbor as yourself. Because why? You would not want your neighbor to take vengeance on you. You wouldn't. And you would not want them to hold a grudge against you if they are your true neighbor. Many of us know these scriptures already, but how many of us have literally sat down and truly analyzed what's being said to us? We quote these things. We quote it daily. We speak about it daily, right? But typically, let me click this button right here. Can't do that. But typically, give me a second, you all. There we go. But typically, we're not truly understanding this because as soon as something happens, we react, we respond. Automatically. We react and we respond. Okay. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. This is really acting up on me. I'm not liking this, but I have to continue regardless. All right. So we analyze Wayikra 19 and 17 and Wayikra or Leviticus 19 and 18. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against your neighbor, right? So you have already talked to your neighbor. You have rebuked your neighbor in whatever context that might be. You have already spoken to them if you did it properly. It's not white and black with that. It's so many different ways that can go. Maybe the conversation never really was had. Maybe one end was being spoken to and the other one wasn't received. Maybe you all didn't revisit the situation. But regardless of that, going out and taking vengeance should not be the goal. That's totally against the law of the Most High. Okay. So this verse right here, Wayikra 19:17 says, this verse emphasizes the need to rebuke or correct your brother, but in a way that does not cause sins or hatred to build up between you all. You all should come to an understanding with each other, but this requires sincerity and purity from you both. Arrogance has to be removed. If it's still in place, this buildup can and will happen. It's inevitable in some capacity, but it doesn't have to. It's always going to happen with one of the people involved or both. It just depends on the level of maturity of that woman with the other woman or that man with the other man. It just depends. But we have to grow past that. explicitly directing us not to do this. So we have to figure out a way to do this. We need teachers, elders, men and women that can show our youth the proper way of doing this right here. It's doable. The interesting thing about it is everyone is not going to do it. I always teach that it's a remnant of a remnant. I always teach it. It's a remnant of a remnant. Wait till we get to the end of this. You all will see what I'm saying. I know the world teaches that everyone is going to have this understanding. Most High is revealing it to all, and that's not the case. We're still operating in immaturity. We're still capable of operating in immaturity, whether we are leaders, teachers, or students of this word as adults. The growth and the maturity all depends on you. All right. This second one says, let me click this for you all. So, you should not take vengeance. It says this verse stresses the importance of love and reconciliation, and it forbids holding grudges or taking vengeance. Now, we have to be careful with this reconciliation part. We have to be careful with thinking or seeing something that's being presented to us that is not the truth. But what you all have to keep doing, regardless if this is done or not, I'm talking to you who are really trying to walk this path. If you have done what you were supposed to do, and you did the steps required, and you attempted, you have to keep going. You have to keep going, because at the end of the day, we're still individuals, right? Some of us hold things in, and our actions of those things that has been held in is shown outward. And sometimes we don't see that outward um, that outward presentation that we're giving to others. We don't see it. And we can think to ourselves that we have done the right thing, but those that's outside don't see that. So our goal as those that are trying to be servants or pressing to be servants of the people and the Most High, we have to look at those things, look within ourselves. Then we also need to listen to them. I won't say listen to the majority, because the majority is off, but listen to it's many righteous, like truly righteous men and women. Go ask them to be honest. A lot of people are not as honest with you as you believe them to be. That's why it's important to ask the right questions, not the questions that you want to ask. Keep asking questions. Then you will learn too that people are not used to questions being asked. This is all within this. The reason I'm bringing this out, because this is literally what we're about to go into right now, is really dealing with judgment and dealing with court cases. But this can apply to us in general. So when I'm saying ask the right questions, it's really speaking on court case matters. But a lot of these subjects that we're dealing with is connected, or the same concept in court case matters, because we're all acting like judges. We're all judges to ourselves. We're able to judge everyone else when we're not doing the very thing that we're teaching. We're all acting as judges. So with that being the case, we need to ask the right questions. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay. As I just said, context is legal disputes, but principles still apply to how issues should be handled. All right. That's interesting. Um, Debarim or Deuteronomy 19:15 says, one witness shall not rise against a man concerning an iniquity or any sin that he commits. By the mouth of two or three witnesses, the matter shall be established. There are many things that I have seen, I have witnessed, that have been done to me and others that I know. And one example, and I made a video about this. So I'll speak briefly, not about the video, but about this matter that happens amongst many people. Someone would say something, and due to their position, notoriety, popularity, people will just listen to that individual. And they'll listen to that individual without knowing the facts. I don't care how much you believe and trust in this person. You should still get the facts. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Consistency of an individual does matter. So it's one thing to be like, well, man, this woman or this man has been very consistent. I can't believe, I wouldn't think that they'd do this. But it's another thing to still get the facts. I remember one instant, it was something that was said that I was doing. And I know me, and I know I wouldn't do it. But it was told to me that I did it by the individual. And sometimes we can perceive something's being done to us or said to us, or we may hear something or implement our own thought of what has been said. And now we think that that's the case. So to rectify that situation, that's why it's always good to have witnesses around to assist in that. If you don't have witnesses around to assist in that, the matter can become harder to rectify. All right. And if it's something that's not a big deal and you really want to make things right with that individual, apologize. If I did that, my apologies. I don't recall it. That's really not what I normally do at all. But if you believe it, I don't want to offend you on it. All right. Or if it's a matter that needs to be just truly dissected and rectified, but in truth, you have to stand your ground. But you could approach it in a certain manner. But back into the scenario I'm talking about. This individual was really adamant in thinking that it was something that I said. And what I said to the individual was, because there was other people around, I said, hey, let's ask them. If they said that I said it, I would promise you I will apologize. And I'm truly sincerely sorry. I know I wouldn't say nothing like that, you know? And that's how you should go about it. But the individuals that I spoke with was saying to me, hey, you're just not going to take my word for it? No, I can't take your word for it if I know that's not what I do. I will never tell anyone to do that, to take someone's word for something that you do not do. But if his witnesses around, ask the witnesses. Let them bring to memory something that you may not remember, or you may be wrong in. It's okay to be wrong. These things, it's okay to be wrong, but we always, or a lot of us, prefer to always be right. It's okay to be wrong. But this is set in place in Deuteronomy or Devarim, or these laws, these instructions, right? These statutes, how to carry these things out, is in place because it's an understanding that people are what people, I don't like saying this, but I'll say it. People are flawed in certain things. There's certain areas where they're greater in, they're stronger in, they're more mature in, but then there's other areas that they're not. So these things are here to assist us. and govern us. The problem is, many of us, we utilize the literature because of who we believe ourselves to be, but we truly don't have nothing governing us. We don't have anything governing us. If you have no one that is your contemporary or above you that can challenge you and cause you to shift your thoughts and your ways, then you're not being governed. You're not being governed. If you're not speaking with individuals that's over you in eldership or title that can say, yeah, you shouldn't do this. And you can hold yourself accountable enough to respect what they're saying that are holding you accountable, you're not being governed. I don't care if you're a leader, a teacher, or whatever it may be. You're not. These things are here to help govern us better. Let's keep going. Oh, I really this signal is horrible. So hopefully you all can withstand this uh, presentation. Let's keep going. So one witness shall not rise against a man concerning any iniquity. Not one witness. I have seen people post things about people and hundreds of people responded to it without even finding out the facts. They believe this person who claimed to be a witness. Every last one of them broke this law, including the person that posted the matter. Or if a teacher is teaching something that's personal, same thing. All of this applies. We all have done this, maybe at some point in our lives, maybe not all of us. I can't say all. I really do believe that there's a remnant of a remnant in every subject matter. I really believe that there are people that are more mature in different subjects that may not have ever done what it is that we're seeing the majority doing. So I want to make that clear. Let's keep going. All right. Let's see. This one is important. When a malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, let's stop there. A malicious witness. Do you know that most of us, and the reason I say this firmly, because of the outcome of all the things I have seen, and I'm sure some of you have seen, or been a part of, or been the very people that were doing it. When a malicious witness rises up against any man, we're not even able to see if someone is being malicious because we are so drama filled today as B'nai Israel. We have been this way since back then, over 2,000 years ago. Nothing is different. What's worse today is we don't like accountability. We never did, but at least back then you can enforce a little bit more. Today you can't. So this message is not for those that don't like accountability, leaders, teachers, students alike. This is for those that do like to be held accountable, that do want to shift and preserve their words and don't want to be going into this arena of being malicious witnesses and, holding vengeance against their neighbor or brother and claim to love the scripture when it talks about loving someone like you love yourself, but not treating someone the way that you would treat yourself or want to be treated. These are for individuals that want to have this accountability on them. I want to truly please or be pleasing to the Most High according to our literature. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Then both men who have the dispute shall stand before the Supreme King, Yahweh Elohim, before the priests and the judges who serve in those days. Now, wait a minute. It says, after this malicious witness does what he does, right? When a malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, it says those men, both of those men who have that dispute, should stand before the Most High, right? You can look at this two ways, especially now because it's different from like back then. The priests, right, stood as representatives of the Most High, right? But stand before the Most High, you all probably should come to the side and go into prayer. Before you make that movement, these two men that have this dispute, go stand before the Most High truly, right? Stand before the Most High truly. Go into prayer. All of these things are important. And don't just go into prayer and say something and just continue with your life. But how many of you are doing this? This malicious witness rises up against you. Many of you have went through this. I've heard so many stories, whether in this path or out of this path. Many of us have been through this. But how many of you have first came to each other to rebuke one another in love, have not after that started going and being vengeful and going before the people and spreading lies and rumors? How many of you have not done that? And then if it was a matter that could not go forward without, it still being an issue, went before the Most High again, and then before priests or judges. We don't have priests today. Some people would say, cool. But what about the elders? How many have done that? How many of us do that? Now, here's the thing. It's the remnant of a remnant. It's individuals that don't even have to go this far. It's men and women that do not have to go this far. Some will let it go and continue with their life and their path with their family and just stay in prayer with the Most High and continue to do what it is that they're supposed to do, what the Most High has them doing. And if they do have things that's still bothering them, they will go to elders that they deem righteous, because right now, many people are doing things on their own. But if you are a part of a congregation or a camp, then I would encourage you, because even if you are a part of that, a lot of people that are a part of that today still operate opposite of what this is telling us to do. I would encourage you to find an elder, right, to help you overcome this and perhaps bring you two together and try to rectify it. But it says, then both men who have the dispute shall stand before the Most High, before the priests and the judges who serve in those days, in these days too. And the judges shall diligently search. Now notice, it hasn't said anything about the people. It has not said anything about everyone else. But so many of you that's watching this video know people or are the people that will put it out and spread it. That will put it out, spread it, teach it, whatever it might be. It's giving us the blueprint right here of how to actually do it. No knock on Christianity when I say this, but Christianity is big on this. I don't even think it's a religion thing, though. I think it's just within us. I think it's just a us thing, to where we have to go and spread, as even teachers and leaders, things that transpires that should not be the case. We are not operating properly. Notice this says nothing about bringing it to the people yet. So let's read it again. When the malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, then both men who have the dispute shall stand before Yah. I say prayer before the priests and the judges. But another school of thought is the priests and the judges are those representatives of the Most High who serve in those days. And the judges shall diligently search. Diligently search. You know, today we're so we are I sounded like a brother of mine on that point. I ain't never really did that thing. Maybe he watching too. But I see why he does it. Now, we don't diligently. Diligently takes time, but we want stuff done now. Diligently takes time, but we want stuff done now. Why? Because someone could feel hurt. Someone wants this to be rectified now. I want judgment done on this person now. But that's not a proper judge. I'm not saying it has to be 20 days, 30 days, a month, a year, but it could be that. I'm not saying it has to be those things. It could be a few days. It could be a few weeks. But it darn sure is not right in the moment. And even with that, within that time, they still need to be going before the Most High. We see our prophet did that. Daniel, or some people will say Daniel. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Man, I hope you all standing here listening, if you all watching this right now, and those that's watching back. I really hope it's not really breaking up a lot, but we will see. I'll go back and watch it myself after this is over. Then it says, and the judges shall diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness who has falsely accused the brother. Now, the problem is we already know a malicious person is really just trying to harm someone. So 9 times out of 10, that's what they were doing. But the beautiful thing about here in Deuteronomy 19 or Deuteronomy 19, it says, and the judges should diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness. And see, even if they can believe it, they got to diligently search it anyway. Even though it says malicious in verse 16, they still have to diligently search. How many of us just listen to what's being spewed and have no idea of the situation? If we are doing that, if you are doing that, you are not keeping the law. Now you see why Christians and other people are saying you can't keep the law. Because a lot of people aren't. But we know that's false. You can keep it if you want to. Wait till we get to the part where I'm gonna show you how when we're talking about sin, transgression, I'll get into that later. So it's all about a desire. And a lot of people, not most, but some people do desire to do these things, to keep these things. They see the benefit in it. We have to see the benefit in this. It says, then you should do to him, verse 19, as he thought to have done to his brother. This or thus you should purge the evil from your midst, because people are going to see that the judges enforced what was done. They enforced it. This accountability. But see, we got people that won't even stand before elders. We got people that's just trying to tune in and learn or hear a little word and hope to find a little nugget of something new that's being said that they didn't hear or know before. But they're not truly trying to come under that person they're listening to because they don't want to really show them how they actually live and or see how that leader actually lives. We're really the same people as back then. And it's only a remnant of a remnant. I remember I was talking to a big Achadol of mine, More, and he added a portion of the remnant of a remnant to the saying that I normally say, which I appreciate him for it if he's watching this. In addition, because I don't want to say but, in addition to that, the remnant of the remnant truly means this. Bnei Israel is supposed to be a remnant to the world, right? Supposed to be a light to the world. Deuteronomy speaks on that. The remnant part of that remnant are those that are truly serving the Most High and the people. You see that within the prophets, the righteous prophets, the righteous elders. They are the remnant of the remnant. We see that in, I think it's Yeshayahu, when it talks about purifying, right? Going to put them in and then purify them and pull out. That's the remnant of the remnant. So the remnant of the remnant is nothing after that. But the remnant of the remnant are those that are truly, sincerely pressing to be Tamim, we Shalem Beleb LeYahweh. All right, let's keep going. So, evidence and accountability are crucial in resolving disputes. Evidence, not just speaking. You may be true in believing what it is that you're saying, but that does not mean that you're right. You may have convinced yourself that something is true, but that does not mean that it's correct. And trust me, there's a space for that. You know, the Most High, if he's judging this matter that I'm speaking of, he can see that this is what you just believe and you're ignorant to it. You're just misinformed for some reason. But it does not mean that you're right. So evidence is important. And accountability is crucial in resolving disputes. This provides an accountability structure, ensuring that people are held responsible for false accusations. It is so many false accusations, you all. The false accusations could be quote unquote innocent. That sounds weird, doesn't it? A false accusation can be innocent from a misunderstanding, but what makes it not innocent is you spewing it. The false accusation could just be to your brother. That's why the first instruction is to go to the brother or sister, not to go to the people. This goes to you leaders, this goes to you teachers, and this goes to the students. This goes to myself first. Come on, you all. This provides an accountability structure, ensuring that people are held responsible for false accusations or attempts, watch this, to harm others unjustly. We may not believe, we may believe we are the servants of the Most High, but that little immaturity within us, that little evilness, wickedness within us, we're trying to harm this person unjustly. We believe it's just. Again, this is not everyone. Everyone doesn't act like this. But this needs to be put out there. Okay. For those that's tuning in right now, if you have not yet done so, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share this message. I believe this is one of the most important subjects that anyone that teaches needs to teach about, because this happens daily. And we're going to get into some things. This happens within organizations too. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But there is a such thing as still having it happen within organizations and it be done properly. But we'll get into that. And I hope that this is not acting up on you all. Let's go to the next one. But please, you may see on the top it says Beth Mazan Ministries. It should be saying Beth Mazan Ministries, but it says Beth Mazan Network on Facebook. That is not accurate anymore, but you can find us on Instagram at House of Balance 12. After Shabbat, if you want to donate, you can to any of these areas on our Cash App, on our PayPal. If you want to be a part of the community, then you can. Let me pull it up for you all. You can go ahead and type that in, https://nas.io/Beth Mazan Ministries. All right. Do not do it during Shabbat, please. Do it after if you are interested. Let's continue. All right. So, what do you need to do first to avoid this, to make sure it's done properly? Seek righteous counsel. The scripture's not telling us to do that right now. The second one is actually the first thing in order. I am adding seek righteous counsel. Oh, you're not supposed to add to the law, take away. That is out of context. But I understand it and I can agree with the concept. And I think it's important that people understand that you shouldn't do that. But it is a level of competency when it comes to building an organization or making sure that your congregation or those that's within your congregation don't go out of bounds. So one of the first things that you should do outside of dealing with the Most High first is seek righteous counsel to help buffer the situation before you go before your brother or sister and go in the wrong emotion, right? So that's something to think about. You don't have to necessarily do this first one. I am encouraging and suggesting that you do. Number two, go to your brother alone. Go to your brother alone. Get it situated alone. You have to. Now, there may be reasons as to why it will not work. This is why the elders and the judges are important. Don't just stop at it at that point. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm done with him. I'm done with her. The problem is most people stay at this point because they don't want to go to others that may disagree with your point of view. That's the issue. But then you may have people that will go. And that's kind of shaky in itself too, because you have to go to the right individuals again, as I said earlier. Let's go. Go to your brother alone. Go to your sister alone, okay? That's the first step after seeking righteous counsel, to make sure you're in the right headspace before you go to this person, okay? Bring people who truly witnessed it into the matter if needed, not people who don't know anything about the matter. They cannot help you. They will big you up and make you feel like you're right. And you purposely shared it with them because you did not want to find out what was truth. This is what we do. So seek righteous counsel. Go to your brother alone. Bring people who truly witnessed it into the matter if needed. Now, when I say truly witness, I'm not saying that see it afar, that are around and then hear it from your point of view. I'm talking about those that know the intricate details. That is the best way to help a situation or a matter. If you don't do that, it will become jaded. After that, if that does not work, take it to the leaders or the elders who then after that the community is involved. But it has to be a true community, not people who are not a part of the community, whether it's living on a land community or whether it's people a part of the body community. There also should be something in place within your community. There should be something in place to where it causes you not to go outside. Now, when I say, I'm not saying if something crazy is happening and something that's so truly wicked and you need something outside or someone outside to help. I'm not saying don't do that. The goal is to not do that. The problem is we need extreme righteousness to make sure that there's no crazy things happening, you know. But yes, these are the 4 steps. The number 2, 3, and 4 is the scripture steps. Number 1 is the one that I suggested that we do before going to your brother or your sister alone, because a lot of times we'll do that and we go in anger. We go ready to chop a person's head off. You need that elder or that righteous counsel on your that you could go to that will be balanced in speaking with you about the matter and not just going to take your side. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So, what is a gossip monger? I know I started off a gossip monger. What is a gossip monger? It's a good animation there, isn't it? Is it? Isn't it? I mean, here we go. What is a gossip monger? Their intentions are fueled by immaturity. This is no age. This is no age. This can be young. This could be 30s, 40s. This can be 60s. Their intentions are fueled by immaturity in this matter, in this subject. Not talking about every subject. We got to make sure that we separate. Everything doesn't apply to everything. Everything doesn't apply to everything. We have to remember that. All right? Their intentions are fueled by immaturity. Okay? They're unconstrained and unchallenged by those around them. No one can challenge them. If someone challenges them, they won't listen to them. They will have a way of making the people believe that they're listening to them. It's a form of manipulation, but they're unchallenged. Just no one can challenge them. So a gossip monger is able to say and spew and do whatever he or she wants, whether it is someone that's not on this path, on this walk, whether it is someone that's a student on this walk, whether it's a teacher or a leader. Their intentions are fueled by immaturity. They're unconstrained and unchallenged by those around them. Let's keep going. In their circle, they recognize no one as their equal or superior, leaving them without accountability. In their circle, they recognize no one as their equal or superior, leaving them without accountability. Someone that is equal to you in your mind, you will respect them because you are going to respect them as you respect yourself in that position. But if you do not view them or recognize them as equal to you, then it's like when the wind is blowing a leaf. It just depends on how the wind feels. If I want to hear them on this subject and or not, it's these things are important. A gossip monger doesn't have any of these things. There's nothing or no one that can hold them accountable. And guess what? They are people within our community. How do I know that? It's in the law. Rachel. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, I gotta go back. Gotta go back. Gotta go back. Gotta go back. Hold on. Forgive me. For those that are watching, please make sure that you like, that you subscribe, that you share. Like, share, subscribe. Again, Beth Mazon Network is not live on Facebook, so that's not how you will find us. But if you want to find us, you can find us on Instagram at House of Balance 12, or you can find us here on YouTube, right? Beth Mazon Network. Let me take us to what we missed. More often than not, they speak about others without fear or caution. A gossip monger, more often than not, they speak about others without fear or caution. That's what a gossip monger. One of the things that the gossip monger or traits that they will have. They don't have any fear. They're not preserving their words. Remember, that's the lesson. They're not preserving their words. Okay. So, Hebrew word, Rachil. Rachil is labeled as a talebearer or a slanderer. Some translations will say. I put it as gossip monger. It's one of the definitions I've seen. I saw on there, and I think it's truly a good one because gossiping is huge in our community. It's a lot of gossip with no solutions. It's just a lot of gossip. We have these things about ourselves, our people. We like to gossip about our people. A lot of times it's fruitless and could be harmful. Let's see what we got here. It's harmful. It's harmful, right? Gossip monger, talebearer, slant. It's harmful. They're normally divisive, right? They want to divide. They want to divide um, those away from you. Divide the people, but divide people um, from your midst. Right? They're not normally encouraging if they're speaking with someone about you. They're not encouraging or directing them towards you. Right? They're trying to pull them away from you. A gossip monger also will things are not right or they're not liking, then that's when they go this route as well about you. Okay. And lastly, a gossip monger is inappropriate. Right? These are the ways to recognize it. When they're speaking, it's harmful, it's divisive, and it's inappropriate. If you're really paying attention, you will know what inappropriate is. And one of the major things of it being inappropriate is if it doesn't even apply, meaning it's not appropriate, right? It's inappropriate. It's not applying to you because it's something that's missing. Okay. All right. Gossip monger. Wa'ikra 19, Leviticus 19:16 says, you don't directly, it's saying it to you, you don't go as a gossiper or a slander at your people, right? So don't attack your people. in your people. So don't go in, don't be within that community, gossiping and slandering, and also with your people. Don't include your people and cause them to sin too. So don't do it with them, right? You don't stand on or against the blood of your neighbor. How are you standing? Well, I'm not killing him. He's not bleeding. No, but you're harming him. You might as well be. You're harming him or her by not bringing the proper. I'll slow down because we're going to go into that. You're harming him or her. So you're killing his name or her name. You're killing, and with that, now you're killing his family's name. It's people attached to him and or her. This stuff is deep and it's so simple, but we're not thinking of everything. We're not thinking of it. We're just reading and grazing over the scriptures. I haven't even went into the Hebrew. I just had to fix a few things so you could see how it's really trying to project this message to us. We do this all the time because we have no accountability. We are immature, right? We have no self-control. And we have to do better. All of us have to do better. A gossip monger, slanderer, goes revealing a secret, confidential information, Mishlei 12 and 13, right? But a trustworthy, faithful spirit covers and conceals a thing. Some people might say, well, no, see, oh, so they're going to conceal the wickedness that's happening? Is that what you're saying? You know, I'm not a slanderer if I'm no, 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 no. This is telling you that a gossiper, a gossip monger, a talebearer, a slanderer, their purpose, they can't help it. They continue to just reveal things, whether it's true or it's not true. They have to say something. But someone that is trustworthy, that has a calm and faithful spirit, they don't have to. They keep moving with their life. They don't have to do those things. They're still a part of building the people of the Most High and doing what it is that the Most High wants them to do. They're still a part of that. And they know how to just let it stand where it is. That's what this individual, knows how to do. All right? But the gossip monger, the talebearer, the slanderer, it's impossible for them to do it because they don't have it within them. But you can build from that if you are that individual. You don't have to be that individual. It's a choice. It's a choice. Let's keep going. We're almost done. All right. So, Leviticus 19:16. This verse warns against carrying tales, true or not, because the act is harmful. The act itself is harmful to your brother. You have not did those steps that we went through. Righteous counseling, going to your brother first, going to the leaders and the elders, and judges, priests, before even going to the people. So you're carrying tales. So you're trying to harm. It's best to keep your intentions pure and with the Most High. Mishlei 11 and 13 says, this verse shows that this person exposes private or sensitive information with motives. That's the part. With motives, be it known or unknown, meaning they don't even know that they're doing it. But someone with a faithful spirit of Yah and his people maintains the proper steps. And if those steps are not able to be maintained with this man or woman, then they are satisfied in Yah and the works that they supposed to do. They move forward and they continue to go without having to reveal information that does not belong to everyone else, without having to harm someone due to what it is they may have in their thoughts. This is what is trying to stop us from doing. But the thing is, only a remnant of a remnant will abide by it. So, a gossip monger, Rahil, mixes truth with exaggeration. A gossip monger mixes truth with omission. And a gossip monger mixes truth with or misleading emphasis. Misleading emphasis. So they emphasize on something specific that is misleading to the people. Specific that has no weight or no bearing on the actual subject, making their words deceptive. Making their words deceptive. Which is why you need to preserve your words, even if partially true. And what partially true means, the subject matter can be true. That's what makes it partially true. But it can be things left out that brings more context and understanding. This is what a gossip monger lacks when they're bringing the information. This is important in our community. If we can remove this from our community, we will be a lot better. But will that happen? No, not until the Most High makes it happen. All right, we got about 10 more slides left, you all. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe, please like, please share, please like, please subscribe. So the main issue with a gossip monger, right? How does he spread info? The main issue is not the accuracy, but the intention. The main issue is not the accuracy, but the intention. Why is he or she so held up on bringing this stuff out like this? It's not the accuracy, which that has a part to do with it, but it's the intention to stir conflict, harm reputations, or to break trust in the individual being spoken about. Plant seeds. These people need to be either shown the proper way, coached, pulled out of positions until they can rectify this, or they need to be removed. Each one of us that operates like this need to be removed until we change or never come back again. Because we are detrimental for our communities. How does he spread info? Maliciously. Remember we spoke about malicious? Maliciously is how he spreads the info, or she, and carelessly. It's a way to spread info or spread truth, but doing it with care, doing it with pureness will be seen and observed by those that's listening. They're going to say, okay, well, he's bringing out this truth, but he's still praising this individual. He's still, or she's still not wanting anything bad to happen to this individual, not diminishing this person's name or anything like that. These are things that we need to add to our character and have this understanding of what the scripture is trying to do. So, how does he spread info? Maliciously and carelessly, whether it's true, have true, or false. right? So that's a gossip monger, y'all. We don't want to be that. We want to remove that. So, what is someone who is opposite of a gossip monger, right? What is someone who is opposite of Rahil? Perhaps someone that understands the approach or how to approach individuals or understands approach matters to Yah and what we speak and how we speak is crucial, right? So, it's a word, natsar, in Hebrew, which means to preserve intentionally and carefully. The Most High wants us to preserve what He's commanding us, right? Preserve our culture, our laws, preserve our people. And we have to do that intentionally and carefully. But many of us are not wanting to do that. We want to just spew out information. We want to battle. We want to argue. We want to be right. We don't, at all costs, we do not care what happens to the people we're talking about. Whether Christians, don't care about them. Muslim, don't care about them. What's crazy is they're so-called black people. Our approach is everything. We got to consider this. So let's look at Psalms, Tehillim 34 and 14, and Mishlei, Proverbs 13 and 3. Let me pull it up so you all can see it. It says, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. If you don't keep your tongue, you all, your words, preserve. That word is natsar, which means to preserve more, and preserve intentionally and carefully. Be careful with it. Be careful with your tongue. Preserve your tongue from evil. Right? It says, he, Proverbs 13 and 3, who guards his mouth preserves his life. But he who opens wide his lips, excuse me, you all, wide his lips shall have destruction. So he who actually is actually to be preserves. So let's throw this in there. He who preserves intentionally and carefully, he who preserves intentionally and carefully his mouth preserves his life. You can affect your life by speaking ill on others' lives. Maybe not right in that moment, but the Most High sees you. But whether you will do it or not shows how much you fear the Most High, the Supreme King, Hamelech HaElyon, HaKoach HaNiski, HaMakoach HaNiski. So that is what's opposite of Rachir, Natsar, or Aninotzer, right? So preserve your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. He who preserves intentionally and carefully his mouth preserves his life. Does the Most High, excuse me, y'all, hold on, kind of under the weather, trying to get over it right now, so please forgive me. Does the Most High demonstrate this? Are we to be set apart like the Most High? And we are. We're supposed to be set apart. We read that through the scriptures all the time. But watch this. Let's look at an example. Let's look at an example. All right. Natsar, before we get to the example, implies guarding, preserving, or keeping something safe for the long term. It is often used for something that is being actively kept or watched over to maintain its state. Actively kept or watched over to maintain its state. It suggests a long-term care or preservation of what is valuable. Hold on one second, you all. 1 second. All right, you all. Forgive me. Let me get it up over with. We almost done. So, Natsar implies guarding, preserving, or keeping something safe for the long term. Long term. Remember that. And it's often used for something that is being actively kept or watched over to maintain its state. So this is the word that was used in Mishlei and Tehillim in the verses we just read. It suggests a long-term care, a long-term care. Preserve your words. A long-term care or preservation of what is valuable. Why is it valuable? What you say is valuable. How you spew it is valuable. And how it affects your people makes it even much more valuable, because this is what the Most High wants us to be like and do. Okay? It also conveys watching over or keeping the mouth in check, as a guard will preserve a treasure. Why does it say, why did I put treasure? Because it's important to us. We're holding it dear. Walking like this, maintaining our character and integrity, regardless of how we feel about this person. If we love them like we love ourselves, we will be careful what we say, and we will guard it and preserve it like a treasure. If something does not work out, we move and don't hold it here. That's important. And then just all the other subject matters that we can think of, like a situation that happened a while ago with us, and other instances I've seen. We spew things without understanding the proper information, and now it causes us to look wicked. It causes the person that did it to look wicked. But a lot of times people don't care today. We don't care truly about this because it's just an identity to us. We got to dig deep, right? I used to say often, how often are you talking to the Most High? How often are you talking to the Most High in prayer? How often are you reading or listening to the Word? These things are important. This stuff can help identify what it is that you claim to be or not be. All right? We already read this part. Let's go to the example. This should be the end. I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope it's something that has been said that has really helped. And this is the last slide of this Shabbat discussion or class. Does the Supreme King, Hamelech HaElyon, demonstrate this? Are we to be set apart like the Most High? We just read that part. But Exodus, Shemot, chapter 34, 6-9. Let's read. Let's see if this is a good example of this word, Natsah. Or in this instance, it will be Notzeh. And Yah, or the Most High, passed before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, El, compassionate and showing favor, patient and preserving mercy, right? Preserving mercy. Be ye set apart as I am set apart. We see the Most High, it says preserving mercy. Are you preserving mercy? That word notzeh or natsar is really he preserved in a sense, but notzeh is current, masculine. Preserving mercy. But watch this. I don't know if you all could see, but I have 4,000 is very small. I thought that was important because that goes deeper into the remnant of the remnant I'm speaking of. This is not applied to preserving mercy to everyone, but that teaching is not understood across the board in today's modern world of readers of the Bible, people say. It's not commonly taught. But it says, preserving mercy for thousands. I'm going to stop there. I'll let you all dissect that comment. Let me know your thoughts on that. I won't push my understanding fully on that. But preserving mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, that's one, and transgression, two, and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished. So people think that, the Most High is forgiving. Yes, the Most High is without a doubt forgiving, but you will face whatever punishment goes with that sin in some capacity. Ask Dawid. But that mercy for thousands, forgiving the iniquity, the transgression, and the sin, that's what the Isaiah 1 come into play. The 2 Chronicles 7:14, the Ezekiel 18 comes into play, to where the Most High will forget that. You still will get the punishment in some capacity, but your internal, what people say, salvation is stamped in a good position because of your shift and your change at that moment. Sincerely. All right. So, preserving mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and the children's children to the third and fourth generation. But watch this. Watch this. And Moshe, or Moses, hurried and bowed himself toward the earth and worshiped and said, if now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yah, I pray, let Yah go in our midst. So don't remove yourself from us. Please remain within us. Go in our midst. Had a discussion the other day. I'm not going to go into it, but the Most High is always in our midst, whether you are in Yisrael or not. I pray, let Yah go in our midst, even though we are stiff-necked people. Even though we are stiff-necked people. This doesn't mean you all, oh, I'm good. See, I'm stiff-necked. He's still in the midst. No. You're going to go through what's going to be deserved for you if we don't shift and do what's told to us. Oh, Yah, I pray, let Yah go in our midst, even though we are stiff-necked people, and forgive our iniquity and our sin, and take us as your inheritance. Did y'all catch something? Notice he says he's forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. But Moshe is only asking him to forgive our iniquity and our sin. Why? Why didn't he say our transgression? Let's read what iniquity, transgression, and sin is. So, iniquity refers to intentional sin, often linked to moral corruption or perversion, twisting what is right. A person knowingly engages in deceit or injustice, but justifies it in their mind. So you got sometimes every sin is not equal. The only thing that's equal about sin is that it is a sin. But every sin isn't equal. It has different levels of repercussions that go with it. So this intentional sin can be something that's not um, a true great sin. It could be something real small, and this person could have knowingly engaged in this deceit. Right, this he could have been deceived and start doing it, and now they're engaging in it. Even if they heard from someone else, this is the way that you should be doing it, but they prefer to go this route because it sounds better to them, and they think they're still doing the right thing, right? So that's why it says that, but justifies it in their mind. That's that iniquity. Transgression, this refers to a rebellious sin, willful defiance of Yah's law. Someone who fully understands the Most High's commandments, but deliberately breaks them out of spite or arrogance. Now, Bnei Israel, they had a level of understanding the Most High's laws or commandments, I should say. But I don't know if they fully, at this point, knew um, the full measure, right, of it, but they knew it, right? So I believe he left this portion out because within this transgression, when he said to forgive our iniquity and our sin, versus the transgression. It was really when he came down in this prayer mode was to just get the Most High to be in our midst, right? But forgive us for this iniquity and the sin. The sin itself is more general. Sin is a transgression of the law. But if you sin, it does not always mean that you transgressed it in a way that was purposely rebelling away from it. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense what I said. So he left that out for a reason. He left that out for a reason. And that's the reason I believe that he left that transgression part out. They're going to have to figure that part out themselves with you, right? Some of them were deliberately, being disobedient to the commandments, and some probably weren't. I don't know for sure. This is what Moshe could have been thinking at this point. But what I do know is that iniquity happened, and I do know sin happened. So please forgive our iniquity and our sin and take us as your inheritance. So sin right here, this is the most general term, meaning missing the mark, often unintentional sin. You could miss the mark. One of my favorite kings, Josiah, missed the mark. But it says that he did all things right in the eyes of the Most High. Why? Because he was doing what he was told, what he was deceived to do by those above him. And he was doing it all out until he realized that it was wrong and he was missing something, and then he added it in his life and shifted and turned. All right. So I'm going to stop there with the presentation. Let me stop sharing. And I want to end by saying, again, sometimes it's better not to speak. Preserve your words. The main thing we should focus on is doing the proper steps when it comes to dealing with one another. These scriptures that we went over is dealing with one another in adversarial situations. And if we are brothers and sisters, as people say, then we should be moving a certain way. And that certain way is given to us because it's the most ideal way for us to succeed and to go forward. And also, the last scripture that I showed, when it showed that the Most High preserves has preserving mercy thousands, we should preserve mercy because He preserves mercy for us. We should have that for others. And with that, that is going to cause us not to destroy people and their name, which also destroys the names of those within their home. Keep growing, keep building, get close to the Most High. You all stay in His Word and truly walk this thing out. I am Naseekh HaRashee Shama, Chief Prince Shama, Chief Prince of Bed Mazai Ministries. I hope that this message truly touched those that listen. Please share, please like, please subscribe. And again, if you want to donate at all, we have the Cash App there. We also have the PayPal, and also this link right here. If you want to be someone that joins our community, you could go type that in. And we have a lot of things that we're going to be doing, and we are doing to help strengthen your journey mentally, spiritually, and physically throughout the week and throughout your walk with the Most High. All right? May the Most High bless and guard you all. Yabrechem, Yahweh, Yeshmarechem. Shalom. Oh, don't do any donations until after Shabbat. All right. Shalom.